Hey friends, it's Brady with Carrot, and I'm really excited to roll out this episode for you today. Before we do, I wanted to give you real quick context as to why we're rolling it out and where it came from. So, with coronavirus going on right now, a lot of you are probably wondering if you should be pulling back some of your ad spend, if you should be pulling back on some of your marketing, and also what you can do to keep the leads coming in and keep closing deals with stay-at-home orders and all this crazy going on. And so we wanted to share this special session from our Market Leaders Summit that we had just a few weeks ago. I want to share the session with you from our friends Lucas Machado and Earl White, the House Heroes. And we're sharing it with you because these guys pulled in over 3,500 motivated seller leads last year using 3 simple types of content. They've got a formula down. They went in, they put in the work, and they bring in leads like crazy. It's pretty straightforward, and in this episode, they're going to lay it all out for you. These guys are going to show you the one marketing channel that is not getting disrupted with Corona right now. So you're going to hear a few things that might have only made sense if you were with us live for the Market Leaders Summit, but nonetheless, this episode is gold. So dive in, enjoy this episode, and please hit us up if you have any questions at all. We'll see you.
One of our pitches is that our close rate is like ridiculous. I don't know, like, just knowing, there's, with wholesaling, there can be a lot of offers sometimes and people backing out, coming back and asking for a reduction, that type of thing. Our close rate's probably above 90%. So we take pride in that. We tell sellers, like, look, you get an offer from us, we're going to close.
Yep.
We're not submitting 100 offers and closing like 50%. When we submit an offer, there's a 90% chance that deal's getting closed.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another session here in the Market Leader Summit. Coming at you guys with a couple guys that I had a chance to meet digitally probably 5-6 months ago because I was so impressed with what I was seeing behind the scenes on the consistency, on the predictability of the leads that they're bringing in through the Carrot platform, through SEO. And they're doing it kind of on a national scale in certain parts. And they've got a ton of leads coming in, guys, for land leads, house leads, all kinds of stuff. But I think it's going to be awesome to bring these guys on from househeroes.com to talk about what they're doing to bring to build momentum, to build predictability and consistency in their business so they can have more freedom. So I'm going to welcome on these 2 guys here right now. So we've got Earl and Lucas. And Earl, Lucas, why don't you guys introduce yourselves really quick and let people know who you are, what you do, and where you guys live. Kind of what's the business look like?
So I'm Lucas. I'm the president of the company. I'm actually based out of South Florida, which is where we do the bulk of our deals. Prior to that, I lived in San Francisco, where I was a product manager in the tech space. And now I'm still a project manager here, except the product is a house instead of a piece of software.
I love it. And then Earl's kind of more on the marketing, the tech side of things. And I just learned a little bit ago, you've got your real estate broker license too. So what part of the partnership do you pull, Earl?
Actually, I do most of marketing, the marketing side, and also overseeing the acquisition staff, which we've kind of grown now. It used to sort of be one guy, and then we brought on a second acquisitions manager. Now we have an acquisitions assistant and like a full-time VA who supervises 3 other VAs. So between like my regular duties plus like 4 direct reports, that's pretty much like a full-time kind of, I guess, full-time plus gig, along with actually the content creation, which is pretty much like I don't want to say my hobby, but like, creating content is kind of, I create content all the time. I create content in my sleep, actually. I usually overbook myself a lot on creating content. Like it's that much of a focus that I'm like, I'm going to create all this. But if I get like 10% of it done, the benefits will be great.
Dude, and I want to dive into that in a big way on this session here. Because one of the reasons I wanted you guys on the Market Leader Summit is here on day 2 that we're talking about. We talked on day 1 a lot about the shifting industry. The retail and the wholesale side of the industry kind of compressing because of technology accelerating that. You've got the iBuyers in the middle, kind of trying to play that middle ground, but you still have a really strong wholesale side and the retail side. And I really feel that if you don't start to figure out a way to collaborate with one or the other, if you're an investor working with agents, if you're an agent working with an investor, you're likely going to start to be commoditized a little bit. Next thing is pick things you specialize in and build authority. One thing that these guys have really gone all in on that I really admire is the content side. Is the content side with Carrot, and they do a lot of offline marketing too, but they've really said, hey, we're going to specialize in these areas, and we're going to specialize our marketing in doing this stuff. And the big thing here, guys, I've been banging this drum the whole summit, is stacking bricks versus hamster wheel marketing. So hamster wheel marketing works great. We'll talk a little bit about what they're doing with SMS marketing right now in this market. That works great. It's what I call hamster wheel marketing. You put something out, it works, but it will only work as long as you're continually doing that. When you stop doing that, it eventually goes off. But when Earl's creating content, stacking bricks, that content's going to be up there next year, next month, 5 years from now. And if you do the right work, it's going to be capturing your leads years down the road as long as you do the work. So let's start and kind of set some basis of comparison for people here. When did you guys start House Heroes, and what does the business look like today? Like, share whatever you guys are willing to share to set context for people. But are you mainly doing houses? Are you doing anything else? And what does the volume look like? Whatever you're willing to share.
We actually started the business in 2013. That was towards the end of the year. We didn't really do anything that year. It actually took us like 15 months to close our first deal. I was full-time. Earl was part-time, just working nights and weekends after his job as an attorney. And took us 15 months to do the first deal. So, first 3 months, the first year we did 0. Second year we did 1. The next year we did 4 or 5. And things didn't really take off until we actually built the website, which was in 2016. That was kind of really the birth of House Heroes. Before we had the website, we were operating under a different name. Once we went to build the website, we said, we need to get a friendlier name, something you could really build a brand around. So that was 2016. We launched the website. It was actually right at the beginning of the year, I believe, in January. And then since then, we've been, above 20 deals a year. We're not those like super high volume guys, right? We're not out there giving sellers the best price typically. So we prefer to do, fewer, better deals.
I love it.
One of the things for us is that like one of our pitches is that our close rate is like ridiculous. I don't know, like, just knowing, there's, with wholesaling, there can be a lot of offers sometimes and people backing out, coming back and asking for a reduction, that type of thing. Our close rate's probably above 90%. So we take pride in that. We tell sellers, like, look, you get an offer from us, we're going to close. Yep. So we're not submitting 100 offers and closing like 50%. When we submit an offer, there's a 90% chance that deal is getting closed.
Guys, and that's such a big deal. We've talked about it here in the summit and in a lot of my other podcasts as well, of how do you stand out right now in this market where there's so many investors, so many agents. And one of the ways to stand out is by building trust, building credibility, building authority. And those things right there, I mean, if you can say, hey, this is one of the ways we stand out, even though our price isn't, as high as the next guy's, you can guarantee that we're going to close on this puppy. This property will close. Have you guys found deals closing just because of that, where you're paying less than the next guy, but they trusted you guys to close on it more?
Absolutely. We've definitely gotten deals from people who straight up tell us right out of the gate that we're not the best offer, but they just feel more comfortable working with us, so they're going to go with us.
I love it. So let's kind of go back. You mentioned, Lucas, about 2016. You guys decided, hey, we're gonna go with the website side of things. We're gonna see what we can do online. And one of the primary reasons I want to bring you guys on is talking about this part of it down here. I'm gonna move wrong way. There we go. Move to this side. Is when you stack bricks in your marketing, and that's something that I've really been hammering. That we've done it here at Carrot as well. You truly get more freedom from your business. You truly get more flexibility. You can plan ahead if you know that this stream of income or this stream of leads is going to come in, whether you do a big marketing campaign this month or not. And in my previous businesses, one thing that really frustrated me and made it to where I made it part of my mission moving forward to help entrepreneurs save time so they can do things in their lives that matter and really make a greater impact, get more freedom, get more flexibility, is my previous business trapped me. The way that I was doing marketing was kind of boom and bust market. I'd have a great month, really good month. And then I'd like have to pull away and fulfill and then we had to go market again. We'd have this big old boom and bust. And I said, man, I'm not going to do that again. What marketing of mine was the most consistent? What was the most predictable? And also what gave me the best customers? And it was almost always organic SEO and getting in front of those people. So going back to 2016, you guys found Carrot. You got House Heroes, which I love the brand. I love the brand. It's really cool, guys. Check it out, househeroes.com. But what did you guys do after that when you first started to dive in on the Google side of things? Earl, did you have experience in Google and SEO and creating content?
No, absolutely no experience in SEO, Google, or creating content. Pretty much picked it up, as an as needed basis. So no experience whatsoever in that.
Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of funny. I've got your website pulled up on my end. I'm not going to show this because it's sensitive information, but you guys get a lot of leads. Like you guys get hundreds and hundreds of leads per month, all the way from land leads to other stuff. And so I want people to see the scale that you can do. Let's kind of cast that vision out for everyone watching this on the summit. Cast it out there to go, what can you do with organic? Because a lot of people say, well, you can only get this far with Google. Well, yeah, you got to expand to different markets or expand to different keywords. We'll talk about how they're doing that. But you can grow an amazing business from it. So you didn't have background coming into it. What did you guys do first? Did you have a goal for how many deals a month you wanted to close through organic, through Carrot? Did you just start doing work and then you got that first deal? Like, oh, shoot, we want more of these. Kind of did you set goals early on and how'd you get that first deal?
I think it kind of also really started from, Earl had no experience, but he had a big challenge because when we were first deciding how to get a website, we had seen, Carrot and some other companies that did similar stuff. And then they had, we went to people, developers, right, who were building websites for people and also had an SEO department and would manage your SEO. And all of them told us the same thing, which is like, first things first, got to set clear expectations. Your market is really hot. Don't expect to even sniff the first page for a couple years. And then, don't expect to be at the top of the first page for many more years after that. And I think Earl just took that challenge and that's really what got him going. He said, I'm going to do it myself and I'm going to do it faster.
I love it.
People were saying. And I think Earl really just sat down and just decided what kind of website he wanted to build and how it should be structured. And then it was just a matter of really filling in the blanks.
So what made you guys choose the Carrot site? Sounds like you guys talked to consulting firms that build sites and do SEO. Why'd you go this route versus, building a custom site or setting up a WordPress yourself or doing Wix or something like that?
Because I've managed tech projects before and I knew that we wanted to do real estate deals, not also manage a website,
Yep.
So we wanted to simplify that. And we figured, hey, the fastest way to get this going is to go with Carrot, set it up, see how it goes. If we decide later on that we need more flexibility, more control, then we could pivot. But we'll never really know if Carrot is good enough for what we need unless we give it a try.
So what have you guys seen now? Let's fast forward. You guys have been implementing. Then we're going to kind of break apart the plan so other people can start stacking bricks and get more momentum with their leads. But fast forward to today, what have you guys seen, both with the Carrot platform, but what have you guys seen as you've been executing the strategy? I want to talk strategy first and then how it's working on the Carrot platform. But what have you guys seen in the business?
So for strategy, there's a few ways that I kind of pick what content to create. Everyone has the sell my house fast, quick, and landing pages, which those are hard to win. Like usually we'll rotate depending on some cities will be number one, some cities will be number two, number three. I think last time for one point we were number one across all Florida. Then we shot down to number two. I think we're there now. So usually we're within 1 to 5 on all the city pages, but there's only so much you can do on those pages I found because look, you make them once. Anyone can kind of make one good page, right? And they're kind of pitchy, right? So really the content side is the part where I feel you can spend more time and stand out because if you're going to create content, actually, anyone can make one spammy page. Creating a strong piece of content is a completely different thing than Sell My House Fast in Miami, landing page. So the last year to 2 years, I've been working on the content side, and generally the way I target the content is, usually there's two ways. One, Google Ads. I'll see what people search on our Google Ads, and then I'll create content around those searches. Also, Google suggested searches, and then also just niches, right? Like I'll try to put together a page about a specific niche that's coming up. And so Google suggested searches, Google Ads, also some of the Carrot stuff. I've gotten deals. We did there was a template blog we got from Carrot, which was the tax tips selling your house.
Yep.
That one netted us, and as is, we never even went to the property, like a really solid wholesale deal that we never even saw the property. We made 2 phone calls, made multiple tens of thousands of dollars on that blog, which I honestly spent less than 10 minutes on that blog. So a mixture of the Carrot content, Google searches, things that we learned from sellers. And I'm honestly trying to grow it more and more. I was just talking to Lucas about this, that I want to keep pushing more content because I feel like that's the path to scale the business in the long run.
Dude, so
you have to do the city pages because that's like the bread and butter stuff that everybody does, right? But then on top of that, we just want to, everywhere we can, insert something that's us, our brand, House Heroes, right? It's more our style. And our style is, we're out there trying to help sellers solve problems, right? Where do I go when I have a problem? I go to Google and I Google something. So, we're thinking, sellers are the same way, and we want to try to put content out there that they can find when they're trying to solve a problem.
Okay, so I'm drawing something up really quick because I thought it'd be useful. 1 second here. I'm not a great drawer, so don't be judging my drawing, everybody. But so this right here. Okay. So this is kind of how I look at content is this, and assume that this was all a bunch of other content here, tons of other stuff. Okay. So right here, guys, you've got and I'm kind of breaking it down for the audience here. Then we'll dig in specifically on your guys' strategy. So you've got the home page here, right? So that's your home page. That's going to be focused on your overall high level market. Hey, we're all of Florida, or we're going after sellers and helping sellers in Georgia or all of America or the West Coast or these 3 cities within Florida, whatever it is. So your homepage should be focused in on your overall broad market. Okay. And so if you're going after a bunch of different states, you're probably just going to be, a broad message, not pinning down on any one state. You might say, hey, we operate in these states. The next thing is your core pages. That's your about page. That one's critical. It's always one of the top 2 or 3 pages visited on almost every site in our system, across buyers, sellers, agents, investors, doesn't matter, because people are looking for credibility. You've got your testimonials page, contact page, how it works page, that stuff. That's your core pages. Those are going to be there that people are going to be able to click at the top of any article, click it and see your credibility and learn who you are and learn what your process is. That's going to help convert people. Okay. So that's your core pages here. Now, the big thing here is then next is your location pages. Okay. So you've got your homepage, then you've got your core pages. These are static. They're going to help you build credibility, help you close those deals. These are your location pages. So that's any city, any state, county, like whatever it is, however people search in your areas. We suggest if you're operating at the state level, launch it at the state. And then you have city ones under there. If you're operating regionally in multiple states, you'll have a location page for a state and then different location pages for every city you're working in within the state. So you might have 10, you might have 20. We have some customers with like 100 plus location pages because they're just building them all over the country. And then here you have your content, right? And this is your blog. This is what Earl's talking about here. This is where most of our clients kind of stop. Okay, by default, you're going to have your primary core pages here, and then you go and customize them, add your credibility, add your testimonials, stuff like that, your branding, really stand out. And then here, a lot of our clients have location pages built out because that's really where a lot of that results get. But like Earl said, it's competitive because you're going after sell my house fast, insert city, or cash home buyers, or investment properties in insert city, or sell your land in insert state. These are what I feel the way that you're going to scale things up in a big way, in addition to continually adding new location pages as you go into new markets. is a blog post, blog post, blog post, blog post, blog post, adding those blog posts as you go. And so when you guys are doing it, Earl, you mentioned using some of the Carrot automated articles. And in that one, it sounds like you did some modifications to it. So let's kind of walk people through this, how you're stacking bricks on here. Because some of the bricks you're stacking, you're writing unique content. I've seen some of it. It's really good. You're sitting there and writing really unique content only to you guys. But some of it sounds like you're modifying our stuff. So in your normal content plan on a quarterly basis, what percentage of articles that you're launching from our article, our automated system, are you modifying those then? And then what percentage maybe are you writing from scratch?
So I would say it's 50-50. 50. The ones I write from scratch are the ones that are going to be that I think they're going to be harder to win. Mm-hmm. If it's going to be an uphill battle, then I'll write it myself. If I think that's relatively low competition, then I'll just grab the Carrot one and I'll make some slight modifications. Nothing crazy. I'll probably just do a little research on each subtopic. Add a couple of points of value, mm-hmm. add some photos into it. Rewrite some sections like in the beginning and the end, so it doesn't look like the same article that everyone else has published, mm-hmm. but keep the core of it the same. So that's generally how I do it. One, if it's going to be really competitive, also how value it is. Like if it's very high value, then I'll write it. If it's very competitive, I'll write it. If I think it's easier to win and I don't need to devote time to it, then I'll just take the Carrot thing, do minimal adjustments to it, and post that on the website.
Dude, so a really good example, and I'm going to share my screen for everybody watching this in the summit right now. The one that Earl had talked about, the tax tips one, I think it's something like tax tips when selling a house in Florida or something like that. So you guys can see on my screen, if you're watching this in the summit, you can see what Google's given me with Google suggestions. And that's what Earl had mentioned before. That's one way that he gets his content ideas. And that's such a great way. We do the same thing here internally. It's really good. And it's a free tool, guys. Just go to Google and start using it. And these are bricks. Like when I talk about stacking bricks, guys, and kind of the analogy I look at with your marketing, then we'll go back to Earl and Lucas and the strategy they're deploying, is you've got a hamster wheel over here, you've got a pile of bricks over there. And the hamster wheel looks nice here. Like it's easy. I can hop on it. It starts moving, right? The second I get on the thing, you get an immediate reaction from it. And the thing is though, it works until I get tired. Like you're going to grind yourself into a pulp if all you do is hamster wheel marketing, because you've got to be running it or you have to have someone running it for you. You get off of it, then eventually ends up slowing down to where it stopped. Over here, the bricks, it looks like work. Hamster wheel, I can hop on it, get immediate results. Bricks, it takes work. But if I take the bricks and go, if I build a wall, this wall can bounce everything back for me. But it's going to take some work. So I grab a brick, throw some mortar on it, stack it. Grab a brick, throw some mortar on it, stack it. Grab a brick, hop over here, do some hamster wheel marketing. Okay, because that works. Let's get some immediate feedback. Grab some more bricks. Eventually, I've got a whole row of bricks, and my hands are dirty. It was hard work. I put in real work to it, but you pull back and go, man, I've got this one row, but it's not a wall. It doesn't do anything for me. I'm not getting a result yet. And that's where a lot of people quit, is they put in the work, their hands got a little dirty, they did some heavy lifting, and they sit back and go, I'm not seeing any results, so I'm going to go do a bunch of hamster wheel marketing. They never get freedom over here. But if you instead push past that and say, I've got a vision for building a wall, so it all bounces back to me, I want to get momentum, I'm going to keep stacking bricks, stacking bricks, stacking bricks, hop over here, do hamster wheel marketing, get money coming in, stack bricks. Eventually, you've got a wall to where it bounces everything back for you. And those bricks are content pieces, just like the one I'm going to show you right now. So tax tips when selling a house in Florida, I think that's the one. Yeah, right here. This is cool. So you guys not only have the number one actual organic listing, but you guys also have the same the same page that's pulled up into one of their little cards. So this one here, and this is a good example for people, because a lot of people think SEO is just those high competitive phrases, the sell my house fast or we buy houses phrase. This is so good because almost none of your competitors are going after this stuff. Almost nobody is. So someone landed here, and we'll kind of walk people through it. They landed here. You put this out years ago. So this is a brick that's there. It's working years later. It's evergreen marketing. And this is one of the ones, Earl, that you had mentioned that was just one of our articles. You modified it and launched the puppy.
I spent less than 30 minutes modifying this one. It's literally probably one of the ones that gets like a ridiculous amount of traffic. One of our this might get like 300 visits a month or something along those lines, and so that's probably about 5 leads a month. The phone calls are a little bit tricky to track, but usually we get about maybe on this blog I think I get 0.5% conversion rate, and then probably double that for the phone calls.
Yep.
So I would say this gets us about 5 leads a month, which by our close rate that's like half a deal a month or something along those lines.
Dude, that's such a big deal, and I want people to kind of see that vision here, right? Because this was one article. Not all of them are going to hit. Do you kind of what do you expect when you launch an article? Do you have a 50% are actually going to get me a result and 50% aren't, or do you expect every single one of them to start pulling you in leads? Kind of what's your internal barometer when you launch content?
So I don't necessarily have an expectation, because it's difficult to know how much traffic any individual blog is going to generate, because there's no real metric for that. Like I've tried some tools that are online for estimating search traffic, and they haven't been that accurate. Like I've put in like search terms that I know people search for, and they say they have no search results. Yep. So I know that. So it's very difficult for me to say how much it gets traffic it's going to get. What usually ends up happening is that honestly, it just goes back to what I said before, really, is that just focusing on like the suggested searches, the PPC suggestions, and also just like what is common sense? What are people going to search about? And now those have been the ones that have led to the most traffic. But yeah, I don't have an expectation, because I haven't found a tool that's going to like specify the exact amount of traffic that any blog is going to hit on.
Dude, and I think that's a great answer, because for everyone watching this, it releases the pressure, because a lot of people go, oh, well, shoot, it's only things that get 1,000 searches or whatever. And the way you do it, man, is the way that I do it too. And I love it, is literally the Google suggested thing. If there's enough people typing that in every month, Google will then suggest it and say, hey, you might be looking for this because a bunch of other people have. Enough people for us to pull it up and say you might be looking for this. And so that's what I go off of too. It's a great way.
If I can add in on that, the one thing that people can do too is when you're looking in the Google suggested searches, just make a big list of all those. And then work them throughout your blog, because you'll find that certain blogs you write just randomly start ranking for something you wouldn't think. Like right now I'm working on a series that's like selling houses as is, because I picked up, I mean, obviously, right, you wouldn't realize it but I saw on my PPC campaign that people actually very frequently type sell a house as is in your market, in market X city. I did a different blog called, sell a house by owner in Florida. And I'm actually not going to rank on this one, but
no, for sure. I was pulling up just to show people the suggested search stuff. So guys, look.
Yes. So people search that, and I knew people search for that as is. So if you just do the regular one, I'm probably ranked like number 5 nationally on that. Somewhere. It just, I don't know where I'll be on this one.
Yep. The national ones are so hard because number one, it's broad. There's tons of big players competing for it. They tend to bounce around a lot, man, for sure.
Yeah, if you remove cash from it, because it looks like they're targeting all the ones with the word cash.
I got you.
I wasn't targeting cash. So if you remove this as is, I'll probably be first page somewhere for this one.
Yep. You're gonna get there though, dude. Like I said, the national ones are tough. They bounce around. They bounce around a lot for sure. They do. I'm gonna try this one here. Not putting you under pressure. I'm just curious, dude. I'm just curious. It's always fun stuff here. Let's check it out. There's a
this actually, Trevor. This is what I was talking about. Actually, if you scroll up a second, I wasn't intending to rank for Sell House in Florida. I wasn't intending this. It just gave me credit for that. A blog that wasn't targeting it. And the reason I think it did that was because I did the keyword research on what people were searching, right? And so I worked those keywords in throughout this entire blog when I created this one. So
dude, this is good, man. So guys, if you're watching this, there's 2 examples of content that we showed here, because that's one big block that people have when you're looking at stacking bricks. To go, oh man, I got to sit down and write content. It has to be all this time. I have to be a good writer. So the first example we use, which has closed them deals, and people don't think that you can get deals from those types of long tail keyword phrases, and you can, because they're going to be highly motivated. The first one, he used one of our automated articles, so it was already there. he clicked publish the thing, then he hopped on and did 15, 20, 30 minutes of modifications to it, added an opt-in, more opt-in forms in there, and modified some of the content. So that's like minimal version. Just use our framework, just do it, just get those things out there. But to really get that best result, like they said, modify those a little bit, but you don't have to go out there and spend hours yourself writing it, or spend $50 or $100 paying someone else to do it. This is the other example. So when you went to create this piece of content, this is more robust. It's pretty darn long. This one isn't one of ours. You wrote it and you have videos. How did you, I've got my own approach. I just want to kind of dive in on yours. How did you go about writing this? Did you do certain research? Why did you decide to put videos on here? I'm just kind of curious for your approach here. This is great.
Yeah. So my thought process before when I choose a topic is to look at like the top five competitive articles, and like what do I need to beat them. When I say beat them, I typically mean to be more engaging. Yeah, I'm gonna rank well for that one. I really hit a home run with this.
Dude,
one.
Number one right there. That's
yeah, I hit a home run. This was a home run.
I love it.
So if you look at number 2 there, it's actually how I based my strategy for how I designed this one.
Gotcha.
They had some videos on there, and I saw that I wanted to try. They were ranking number 1 before, and I saw that. I believe this. I saw that like they have. I believe yeah. So I saw that they had content here. I knew I could create better content, but I wanted to make sure I had videos, because they had videos, and Google was crediting that, right? So I knew I could make something more engaging than this. So this was the barometer.
Yep.
This was number 1, and I'm like, I got to be better than this. So that was, and I had videos. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to create videos for this one.
Dude, one thing I want to do really quick too, because this is getting kind of detailed, y'all, for SEO stuff. I think this is really powerful because I was on a call with a bunch of real estate agents the other day, amazing people, and they were using our video post feature, where it takes videos from YouTube, yanks them out, yanks out all the words and makes a written article for you. And they were wondering why things weren't ranking. And because they want the same result. They want to stack bricks. They want to get that evergreen momentum building traffic that comes in with really highly motivated sellers. And it wasn't happening. So I went through and their content just wasn't long enough. It was really thin.
Trevor, type in Google sell my house and move to another state.
Okay, so look at
another state. Yeah, I think
so this is important, guys, right here, because Earl is saying these things, but he's not just pulling them out of thin air. That's based off of what other people are searching. Google gave us right here. Hey, people are typing that in. So I'm going to click that. Dude, number 1. I love it.
So go in. This is a video post. This is a video post. If you go in.
Yep.
I did make it. I did clean it up for like typos a little bit, but this actually was a video post. I only spent about an hour on this. It actually was a video post.
That's cool, man. So this one here, so you got a 5-minute video. That's a sweet spot. We tell people for sure do 3 to 5 minutes. Don't do like a 10-minute video for video post, but don't do any less than 3. You're not going to get enough words out of the video to make a robust enough article.
But yeah, so this I picked this one up from PPC. People in my market were searching it, maybe because it's Florida. The way I did this one, I actually made one video, but I broke it up into 3 to kind of map 3 sections of the blog. And honestly, I just kind of wrote down some notes on a paper, and I just kind of rehearsed it one time and then just let it go. And then it was actually my first one, and I mean, ranked number 1 nationally, right? So it worked. But yeah, this is a video post. This is an example of one I found in PPC. I targeted it because I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. And yeah, so I mean, this does get leads. I would say this gets about 1 to 2 leads a month. But like my perspective on it is, it's kind of similar to how you look at it. Like I'm like, okay, I get a lead per month. Like that's okay. That's an extra deal. It's a deal per year.
Yep.
Depending on our close rate. Like if we can keep improving our close rate, then because you want to get your close rate low, right? Because that's what this is, at the end of the day, like you can do all the content and all the text messages you want, but you need to get the close rate low so you can have that. Okay, look, I'm going to create this blog. It's going to generate me a lead per month, but that's a deal per year if you have a good close rate.
Exactly. Dude, I'm doing something really, I love that. And guys, that's the thing about stacking bricks too, right? If you take one brick, a brick by itself is like a really powerful thing. It's a hard thing, but it's not going to be a wall. Like you can't build a wall with one brick, and bricks when stacked together are way more powerful than one brick by itself. And that's the thing with content. When you stack pieces of content on your website, it adds up. You're going to get a lead a month here, 14 leads a month here, 2 here, 7 here. And then eventually you start to get that momentum like these guys are, where they have hundreds of leads coming in from all around the country for land, for houses, for all kinds of stuff every month. And now before we hop on here, one thing that I want to help you guys with is taking those leads that you're not doing anything with right now because you're not in those markets or doing land much, and like really deploying them, because I think you have a big opportunity for capturing more revenue and helping more sellers and buyers. So I'm copying this. The reason I'm doing this, and then I'll toss it back over to you, is when I'm going after a really competitive phrase, and this is getting kind of geeky with SEO, but when I'm going after a really competitive phrase, what I'll do is I'll actually take the word count. So I opened up a Google document over here, and I took this other page that you guys overtook. I took it, I highlighted all the words. I didn't include that, and then did a word count. So it's about 2,900 words. Now, it doesn't always mean that if you just put more words on there that you're going to beat them, but oftentimes if it's decently competitive, that's a good path to go. And so I went over here, and I think I copied that. We'll copy it. We'll paste it back in there. We got it here. So let's do a select all, and we'll do a word count there. And so you're 3,300. So the cool thing is you're about 400 words more than the other one. So, hey, we're more robust. We're answering more questions. We're solving more problems with our article. You had videos. You took cues from that other article that was ranking well and said, hey, they have videos. I'm going to put in some videos too. And then you just took it and went better. You said, here's content that Google likes. Let me just make it better. And when a lot of people do content and they struggle with it, is they think by launching just a quick 2-minute video post with 150 words is going to overtake something like this. It's just not going to happen. You do have to put in a little bit more thought. So, dude, I wasn't planning on this, but this is such a good example. You gave 3 types of content, 3 ways to do content that people can do. One way that got you deals is taking our automated blog post and just doing some basic modification. We do all the heavy lifting of the research, knowing what keywords that people are typing in. We spin it for your area and the title tags and stuff like that. But then Earl went in there and just spent 20, 30 minutes modifying it. Okay, so that's one route. That's the simplest route, and that route is going to get you good rankings. But like Earl said, for the really competitive ones, like the one we're going to show here, for sell house by owner in Florida, that's likely going to need more content than our automated articles have. So he said that's option number 2. Let's write a piece from scratch. Okay, let's look and do the research on what those top 2 or 3 pages are doing to outrank where I am. Let's figure out how many words they have. Let's see what they're doing. Are they using video? Cool. Let's just make it better. That's number 2. And then number 3 was using video post. Hey, here's something I want to go after, but I don't want to sit down and write all the content myself, but it's going to need a little bit more robust content than some of the automated ones. I'm going to sit down and record a video and put it into the video post feature and have all those words yank out. And he did that really, really, really good, man. So 3 types of content, all of them pulling results. I love it. I love it. So moving forward into this year, and we'll wrap this here in a little bit. Moving into this year for 2020, what's your guys' focus? Let me figure out how to stop sharing this. First of all, there we go. Cool. What's your guys' focus with your marketing? You talked about some new marketing you guys are spinning up. In addition to the SEO, what are you guys doing in addition to SEO?
So for this quarter, we really want to scale for this year. We really want to hopefully, double our deal revenues per year. And so to do that, we're trying to stack on, multiple layers of marketing. We've always done direct mail, and but now we're stacking on to the SEO and the PPC, which we're doing. We've always been doing that. So stacking on SMS on top of the SEO and PPC and direct mail.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned before you launched your first SMS campaign a few days ago. And for those who aren't familiar, SMS is text message. It's reaching out to those sellers through a text message. What are the results so far, man? I'm kind of curious. Sounds like you're getting some traction.
Yeah. So basically I have the VAs. Like we have a great VA supervisor, Shirley, who's a full-time team member. She lives in the Philippines. She has like a team that that actually works under her now. So we try to process like very unique lists, at least try to really, hone down the list. So we're not mailing 20,000 people or texting 20,000 people to get the right 10,000 or the right 5,000. So far we started doing the text messages, trying to get out 150 to 200 per hour for like 7 hours a day. And so far it seems like we're going to be generating on our latest list about 2 leads a day from it. Which is pretty good, right? So if you can combine 2 leads a day plus, 2 to 3 SEO leads a day, all of a sudden you're getting 8 leads a day, 9 leads a day. Hopefully that can result. Remember, not every lead is a good lead, right?
Yep.
So like internally we have qualified leads, like we qualify leads, and we try to close a deal every 15 and 20 qualified leads. So the goal is to get 15 or 20 qualified leads a week. And if we're getting if we're talking to 6-7 sellers a day, hopefully we got 15 good leads or 20 good leads the whole week.
I love it. So you've got the SMS you're stacking on, and this is really important. I talk about it a lot. Down here, you've got, I don't know if you can actually see this. Down here, you've got the stool. And this is another thing, guys. During the summit, I want you guys to focus on how can you build a more stable business? Because when you have a stable business, that's when you get the freedom. That's when you get flexibility. That's when you can really make an impact. And a lot of businesses have a one-legged or two-legged stool. When you think about that, you're sitting on a stool, and the stool cannot stand as a one-legged or two-legged stool unless you're sitting on it, unless you're supporting the stool. And if you picture that stool as your business, and that's how a lot of people's businesses are, they are supporting the stool. If they get up off of it and go on a vacation or stop, then the whole thing falls over. So that's where you get really trapped in your business, is you have a business without multiple marketing methods or without multiple legs of the stool. So in this case, they're spinning up some SMS. They've got direct mail marketing they've been running for a long time. And then right here at the core is the inbound, is the organic SEO side of it. A really strong, stable, 3-legged stool where you've got some, what I would consider hamster wheel marketing for those other two. You got to do those things, guys, because they work. It's immediate feedback. It works really well. But then that consistency and predictability is coming from the organic, which really gives you the freedom. So
they work together too, right? Like the website, the stuff that we do on the website for the SEO has a huge impact in the SMS and the direct mail, right? Because so many people, they get our mail, they get the text, they want to go read about us online.
And also, if they are doing some of those drilled down searches, let's say it's probate, and if you guys have content online that's in their city or their state talking about how to deal with an inherited house, it's almost like, oh shoot, they see you in multiple spots now. And if you guys, are you guys doing any Facebook retargeting for the traffic that's landing on your site?
Yeah, we do some Facebook remarketing and Google remarketing. It's actually been something that we're trying to improve this quarter. I haven't paid that much attention to it in the last 6 months. It was more just kind of running on autopilot and just because it kind of works. But it's definitely something we're looking to grow in this quarter. In particular, it's a little bit challenging for us because I live in Jersey and Facebook is usually better for localized as opposed to a blog, which is more of a general content type thing I'll do in my office. So, but yeah, we're looking to create more localized content for Facebook this quarter. And hopefully that would then apply to the remarketing channels, like the remarketing in each city.
Cool. I love it. So 2 more questions for you guys, then we'll wrap this puppy up. So why did both of you guys choose to change your careers? An attorney, product manager. Why did you guys choose to change your careers to get into real estate in the first place? Kind of what was that dream you guys were going after?
I don't know that Earl necessarily had that dream per se. I was working in tech and I was working at a startup. It wasn't a startup by the end of the time I was working at, but when I started it was. And I had made some money, through IPO there. And once I invested all the stock in the company, it was like, okay, well now I get a salary. That salary is not going to get me anywhere. And so I had to decide, well, am I going to, if I want financial freedom, I can either do what everyone else I know is doing, which is try to find the next startup that's going to get bought out or IPO, which is really rare. I got lucky in the one situation I was in. Or do I start something myself? And I've always had more faith in myself than just, hitching my wagon to someone else. So I decided I'd do my own thing. But I'm also not really like a creative, ideas guy, right? Like I'm the project manager, product manager type. So I'd rather someone else come up with a great idea and I can help them, achieve it. And Earl and I had talked about real estate investing in college. We read Rich Dad Poor Dad and said, someday we're going to own some rental property together. So I went to Earl and I said, hey, what about starting a business in real estate, right? And I can quit my job and do it full time, and I can move anywhere, and I'm not tied down to anything. And you have a full time job that you can't leave, so you can just keep doing that and help me out on the weekends and in the evenings. And then it just, kept going until we eventually, were doing enough business that Earl was able to quit his job and join full time.
Love it. What about you, Earl? What was your mindset to leave being an attorney and dive into real estate?
So for a while I was at a big law firm, and in the hours they didn't necessarily bother me, but they were the hours were quite pretty significant. I also wasn't getting a ton of good experience at the big law firm because you're on one person on these giant teams. So I went to work at the Attorney General's office in New Jersey doing child welfare services, which I was really passionate about, and I really enjoyed my work doing that. But my son was born in 2017.
Yeah.
And I knew that with him being so young, litigation would be difficult to be able to balance, because the truth is litigation, you're at the judge's call. And so I knew I couldn't really be home, for an infant. And at the same time also be, running to the courtroom all the time. So at that point, it made sense for me to pause. I also had been doing law straight for 10 years. So at that point, it made sense to, for me to pause that. And Lucas and I already have been doing real estate like part-time for a while. And I don't even like to think about the stuff I was doing back then, but at that point, it made sense to go more into real estate, which we already were doing part-time and having success with.
I love it. So have you guys, this is the last question for you guys, and we'll wrap this puppy up for this session of the summit. Maybe we'll get you guys back on the Carrot Cast so we can dive into even more detail on some other stuff. But are you guys marching towards, getting that freedom, getting the flexibility that you have wanted? And what are you going to adjust this next year to get yourself even more freedom and flexibility in your business?
Definitely. What my top goal this year in the first half of this year is to really transition myself away from the day-to-day activities. Earl's responsible for getting contracts, and then I'm responsible for turning the contracts into money. So I hired an assistant back in the fall, and before then, Earl had his team of 7 or 8 people, and I was solo, the only guy doing the deals. And so hired my assistant in the fall, and working with her, targeting basically first half of this year to have her basically kind of running the bulk of the day-to-day operations, so that I can go do, other things like Earl's talking about, help him make that local content for social media and stuff like that. But then also the idea is just, if my assistant can basically do all the day-to-day stuff with the deals, then I basically have the freedom, right? And I know Earl, it's on his mind as well, because I've recently talked to him about, both of us kind of needing to set up, mechanisms, documentation and whatnot, so that we can, as much as possible, not have to be so active day to day.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Well, guys, what I want everyone to do right now watching the Market Leader Summit is there's a ton of takeaways from here, guys. Go to social media, #Carrot Summit. We're giving away prizes every single day during the summit. Both days we're giving away t-shirts, the positivity tee that you see me wearing right here. If you zoom in, where is it? All these little things say positivity, like shooting out of the bullhorn. But guys, get a positivity tee by going over here to #Carrot Summit. What's your biggest takeaway from this session right here with Lucas, with Earl, with House Heroes? What's your biggest takeaway? Okay, was it something from the content? Was it something from the SEO? Was it something that Earl had mentioned on the strategy? Was it something that Lucas had mentioned at the company level, or how they made that shift from their careers? Let us know right now in Instagram, Facebook, #Carrot Summit. We're going to go through every hour and pick prize winners, t-shirts, carrot water bottles, the whole thing, guys. So go check it out. And also, if you guys want the recording of this event, we do have the recording because we know there's a lot of things we're throwing at you guys. Go to carrot.com/recordings. That's carrot.com/recordings to grab the recordings of this event so you can watch them, run through them with your team, the whole thing. Lucas and Earl, appreciate you guys, man. I'm so proud of you guys. It's so fun watching what you guys are doing and seeing members like really implement what we teach at a high level. And I'm excited to see if we can't work with you guys to get some of the land leads moving off there for you and some other things. So guys, any parting words for the Market Leader Summit audience today?
Yeah, I would just point out that one thing when it comes to content, because I know we were focused on that with your marketing content. Just keep in mind that like just because it doesn't rank, if you're worried about creating content that doesn't rank, don't worry about that because you just can keep using it in different places on your website and keep implementing it throughout your content. People will come and visit your content. So even if it doesn't rank, keep linking to it throughout your website, on your Facebook, and it will continue to keep giving you value, even if you're not going to immediately get Google rankings. I know people don't talk about that much.
Yep.
So just you're not wasting your time creating content as long as you continue to to put it in different places on your website and on your social media platforms.
Thing I'd add too is we love to partner with other people, and we love to give back and help other people. A lot of people helped us in our journey. So if you're watching this, go check out our website. Don't hesitate to reach out to us and connect and chat with us, ask us questions about what we do. We'd love to chat with other investors who are doing what we do.
Beautiful. Guys, we'll wrap this session. Go check out househeroes.com, see if you guys can work with them. Start to stack your bricks, y'all. Start to stack those bricks because that's exactly what these guys have done. And that is our purpose and mission here at Cares, to help you as an entrepreneur regain more of that time in your lives for things that matter, build evergreen, consistent, predictable momentum in your business. When you get that, you finally get the freedom, finally get the flexibility, and you can make a big impact. Lucas, Earl, have an awesome rest of the weekend, guys. Get ready for our next session. #Carrot Summit. Go get the recordings, carrot.com/recordings. Thank you.